In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars Vintage Collection Luke Skywalker's Red 5 X-Wing fighter. Hey there, Star Wars collectors! Welcome to another Bosk's Bounty video. Now, it's actually seems like a while that I've done a video, but in fact it's only probably been about 4 or 5 days. It's probably because the amount of videos that I've done over a short period of time, shortly after Triple Force Friday. Obviously we had a lot to get through, loads of cool stuff came out. And this is actually I think my last review of the items that came out for the Vintage Collection. So I've done all of the figures, except for Luke X-Wing because he got delayed at customs or something like that for the UK. But I had the figure anyway loose from the Skywalker Jedi Destiny 3 pack. I've also done the Poe Dameron's X-Wing. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the description below to that video. That's doing quite well, that video. So obviously I go through all of the details of the orange Poe Dameron's X-Wings. Pretty nice vehicle. But this video we're going to be taking a look at Luke Skywalker's Red 5 X-Wing. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. Let's have a quick look at the box quickly. So obviously there you can see that this is a vintage collection because obviously it's got the classic Star Wars Kenner design. We do have an image on the front there with some of the characters. A little window there into what the actual vehicle looks like. We've got Hasbro in the corner there. If I just quickly turn it round, it is a bit of a big box, do apologise. That is actually the back of the box. You can always tell because it has the Vintage Collection logo on the back and it has a load of the legal gumph and also Disney logo at the bottom there as well. Right, okay, so that's the box. Obviously there is some details on the side, but I'm not going to show you those because it is a big box and it's quite hard to get into shot. So I'm just going to open the thing up. We're going to take a look inside and then we're going to build it and then I'm going to review it for you. But before we open it up and show you what's inside, if you like this video, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Alright then, so just quickly, this is what it looks like when you take it out of the box. It's all very nicely packaged inside. We've got the main body of the X-Wing there. Pretty sure the nose is going to be in this part here. We've got the wings and we've got the laser cannons there as well. This is the instruction sheet. So in typical Kenner style, which I've always liked with these Vintage Collection vehicles, it does always have that instruction sheet or booklet. There you can see there with some instructions on the back. Very much in the style that the old vehicles from the original Kenner line in the late 70s and early 80s, you know, they always used to have these. So that is a really nice touch. I do like that. Right, so we're just going to get it out, build it, and then I'll be back to show you the vehicle. Alright then guys, so here is the Luke Skywalker's X-Wing Red 5, all built. And as you can see, it is very nicely weathered indeed. So I'm actually holding the camera because the desk isn't big enough to have it on its stand. So I do apologise for any wonkiness, but I'm going to hold it as still as possible. I just want to give you some really good shots of the amount of detail that's gone into the weathering, especially from the engines there, as you can see. If we look along here, some amazing weathering that they've done, all that dirt and grime and everything. We've got some battle damage there, as you can see. And I just think that they've gone into some really nice detail on this X-Wing. Now I do know that this is a repaint of various X-Wings that we've had in the past. Pretty sure it's a repaint of the Biggs Red 3, I think is Biggs. Yeah, Red 3. Pretty sure it's a repaint of that. Now I haven't actually got that X-Wing, but I do know from watching other videos and seeing it in the stores back in the day that you know, this is a superior paint job without a doubt. So as you can see there, we've even got some dirt and grime on the nose cone there, and as we go down the side, it's got that sort of grimy finish to it. So it's not perfect white like the classic X-Wing fighter was back in the Kenner days. Obviously these days you get amazing paint jobs, and as you can see there, all the paint jobs and all that weathering is on every bit of the X-Wing, even on the cannons and things. You can see there, all in here, just nice dirt and grime, just to give it that sort of battle damaged look that it's been in a bit of a fight in the old trenches of the Death Star. Now I'm going to go through some of the features with it. Now obviously I have heard people saying that, you know, the price point on this just for a repaint is a bit much, and in some cases I do kind of agree with that. I know that previous X-Wings have come with, you you know, sounds and lights and things like that. And, you know, possibly they could have incorporated that. But what I would say is that with the vintage collection, they are kind of sort of like models for adults rather than toys for kids, I guess. Hence the price point, you know. So in my opinion, I don't need lights and sounds and anything like that. It's just purely going to go on sort of display. And as a display piece, it works really, really well, obviously, with all that weathering that's going on. Just going to turn it over now just so you can see the underside of it. So again, all this weathering and all this paintwork is on every part of the ship. See there, some there. Again, on the rear engines, on the bottom engines, all on the bottom wings. You know, they haven't left any point of this ship plain, basically. They've painted every single angle and every single nook and cranny of the ship to make it look authentic, to make it look like it's been through the wars a little bit, which is exactly what we want. So look, just that wing alone, absolutely stunning detail if you ask me, in my opinion. So let's take a look at the cockpit quickly. So this opens up with this, you just have to get your thumb under there. Now mine is a little bit stiff, so we're just going to be really, really careful with that. So there you go, you can see inside the cockpit there. I'm just going to get some decent light in there. Now obviously you've got a nice chair for Luke. You do have the targeting computer which comes out like that and spins round, so when you've got Luke in there, he can be looking through that if he wants. That's his little targeting computer, so we can just put that back now. Let's turn that around and push it back in. The little control panels there, obviously, you know, you might think it's going to be difficult to get the figure in, but obviously this pops out. I'm sure you've seen this on other versions of this X-Wing. It's on a little rope. Now, if you watch my Poe Dameron X-Wing video, I think they've done a better job with this. They've actually put it on a little hinge and it lifts up like that. You know, so then there's no need for that little bit of rope. The gear stick's on this piece as well, rather than on the Poe X-Wing one. It's actually a piece actually moulded into the seat, which is quite nice. So obviously this, as I mentioned before, this X-Wing, you know, is a repaint. So it has got some of the older features, you know, and at the end of the day, they've just repainted it and made it Luke's X-Wing Red 5, as obviously you can tell by the 5 flashes there on the wings. So that's the cockpit. I'm just going to put that back in there. Put that down. Now the underside, we have the landing gear. So you've got the rear landing gear there. These just move down in like so. And the front landing gear, if we just get an angle on there, that just folds down inside and that clips down. Now again, I prefer the one that they've made with Poe Dameron's X-Wing, where it comes out a lot better, and you pretty much don't have to have that sort of door or flap hanging down the whole time like that, because I think it splits in two, and it just, yeah, it's just a better way of doing it on the Poe X-Wing. But obviously it's a new mould, so you can expect that kind of thing. It has this thing here where you can flip it round and it becomes a missile, and you do get this little missile here. The missile goes in here like so and clicks, and then you can shoot it. I'm going to do it, it's probably going to hit me. There you go. So that fires out quite nicely, and then you can just wheel that back round to hide it away. So that's just a little play feature. There's this little door here with nothing really much in it. Not really sure what that's for. I guess you can put some guns in there or something, torpedoes or something, I don't know. But other than that, I don't think it really has too much of a use. And then of course we've got the wing mechanism. Now again, I'm going to say it, the Poe Dameron X-Wing one is a superior way of the wings working, because on the Poe Dameron's one you've got 2 buttons. You've got one to extend the wings and then one to close them again. On this one you've got this little lever here that you pull down and then move to the right like so. Now as you can see, the wings perhaps should maybe go out a little further, but you know, that's not too bad really. They're extended into attack positions, so I'm not really going to be too fussed about that too much. But yeah, they could most certainly be a little bit wider. And then obviously if you want to close them again, you just flip it back like that. And unfortunately mine don't sit flush, which is slightly annoying, but as I said, it is a display model in my opinion, and yeah, some of these little things you're just gonna have to live with, unfortunately. Now obviously it doesn't come with any figures included. That's the classic Kenner thing, you know, figures sold separately and all that kind of thing. Now I have got the Luke Skywalker from the Jedi 3-pack, so he's here, so you can see his facial details there. He's been upgraded. Very nice figure. So what we're going to do is we're going to put his helmet on and we're going to put him in the cockpit, and then we're also going to get the weathered R2-D2 that came out recently, and we're going to put him in the back there as well. Okay, so I've got Luke Skywalker with his helmet on and he's in his X-Wing there piloting. He looks pretty cool in there. I must admit I do like the helmet detailing. It's very nice indeed, and it just sets the scene off very nicely. But there is obviously one thing missing, so we need to pull that down. And then obviously we need to get R2-D2 in there. Now obviously R2-D2, when this R2-D2 was released on the classic Kenner 12-back card, a lot of people were saying, why on earth is he dirty? He looks like he's from Dagobah or something. And I was kind of one of those people too. I wanted a clean one in that card, but obviously, you know, they obviously had the future in mind and they kind of knew what they were going to be doing. They knew they were going to be bringing out the Luke Skywalker, and they knew they were going to be bringing out the X-Wing, all nicely weathered from the trench run. So they probably just wanted to get that R2-D2 matching, which he certainly does with the weathering on his dome there. So we're going to put him in. I wonder if do you need to take the third leg off? Let's have a look. No, you don't. All right, so there you go. There he is in there. Obviously his head's going to spin nicely, so he looks brilliant. So let's just pick the ship up and then we can see a better view. There you go. Fantastic. That's pretty movie accurate if you ask me. I'm really, really happy with that. It's going to look awesome on display. But obviously these two X-Wings did come out at the same time. So we've got the Luke Skywalker Red 5 and we do have the Poe Dameron's X-Wing from the Rise of Skywalker. Now, if you can only afford to buy one of them, in my humble opinion, I would probably go for the Poe Dameron one. I think it's a superior model. The paintwork's probably on par, but I'll just say that the features on the new one are more updated. Let's just say that. They're both the same price, so I'd probably go for the Poe one. However, obviously, I know some of you guys aren't as into the sequel trilogy as you are the original trilogy. So if you're into the original trilogy and you want a decent Red 5 Luke Skywalker's X-Wing all weathered up, then you can't really go wrong with this one, in my opinion. Alright then guys, let me know what you think of the X-Wing in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching as per usual, and we'll see you on the next one.